We're back with the episode 3 of Principal's Corner with our principal, please. And today we're also just gonna bring you guys some more updates and information about the school and new and exciting things that are popping up. So I know there's a lot of talk about theater and band starting back up again, and so like, what are some new possibilities in that realm of like theater and band?
So the Department of Education, I think it was October 30th, they released some updated guidance on allowing the possibility of band and theater. And originally, as you know, that was something that was restricted to an outdoor activity only. So they've updated their guidance, and they're allowing it in an indoor space separated by 10 to 15 feet. So as long as you can provide a venue where kids are separated by 10 to 15 feet, you can actually run it. As far as band goes, the guidance is for brass instruments, and they have to use a special mask, and there's actually a padding for when they actually spit, I guess. So there's a pad that they have to use when they're clearing out the valves in their instruments. But we are implementing that right now with great success. It's small, but it's better than nothing at all. And I feel for our band kids. I think that's such a large part of our school community, and to see that lost in the fall, I think there was a real absence. But we've put together a plan where it's running in the morning during those 2 hours prior to when students arrive, and it's a cohort rotation, and it's actually working. So that's the band update. The theater update is this is really exciting, and it hasn't really been released yet, but Mrs. Barnes is in the process of releasing the possibility of doing a virtual remote show, which will, so we're gonna release information about that. I don't wanna give too much because I want her to get that information out there, but we are putting together an opportunity for theater. It's gonna be sort of a theater musical option. It will likely be performed virtually. That's our plan right now, with some rehearsals in person. But the platform for performing it is gonna be a virtual platform. That way we can guarantee that it happens. I think that this is in response to our kids last year that didn't get to do the Les Mis production, as you know. So that's our plan.
Awesome. And that would also go for like band concerts as well, virtual?
Yes. Yep. I believe that we are in the process of putting out like a winter concert.
That's awesome.
Together. Yep.
So as the winter season is coming upon us, I know winter sports is a lot different than fall sports because a lot of them are indoors. So can you tell us anything about the protocols or like new updates on winter sports?
Yep. So first of all, I have to say I was shockingly surprised, but really happy to see that the MIA has pushed forward with winter sports. I think we were really successful this past fall. It was outdoors, and that's a big difference, right? So we are pushing forward with, as you know, with basketball and ice hockey, and the restrictions are masks, obviously, but there is going to be a limit on spectators. So one thing that we are doing is we are going to be live streaming all of the games, the home games. We've actually purchased a special camera, kind of the one that you see that runs on a wire, and it's going to move the length of the court so we can stream out games. So I'm pleased. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm hopeful that we can have a full season. I think our kids need it. I think the Meet the Coaches night is Monday. Obviously, it's virtual, so that's kind of where we're headed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then extracurriculars is a big part of Monomoy.
Ugh, I know.
A lot of kids love getting involved
I
through
know.
clubs
I
and different
know.
activities. So what do you think, especially for the younger kids who maybe haven't really experienced that sense of Monomoy yet,
Yeah. Yep.
what's the best way for them to get involved?
I mean, I think, right now it is different, and I think that we're trying on many hats right now to see what fits in this current environment. We actually have a lot of clubs running right now. They are virtual. Some of them are meeting in person in the morning. I know that there was something that was sent out recently. I would strongly encourage all of our especially our 8th and 9th grade students that, like you said, they maybe haven't had the same experiences that you guys have had. If you're not an athlete, if you're not in band or theater, I would strongly encourage kids to start accessing some of those club offerings, because it's going to connect you to the school, which ultimately we are going to return to normal at some point. And that, that's part of our culture, like you said. And yeah, so that's my recommendation right now, is to really start to take advantage of that stuff, because it is running. They are running.
Yeah. All right. And I know college is fast and approaching for a lot of us seniors, and with kind of like the sort of disconnect from not being in school all the time and getting to see our guidance counselors face to face all the time, a lot of seniors may be falling behind in the application process, or haven't really started or don't know where to start. So what are some things that you would say to the seniors if you got a chance?
So I'm going to put on my old guidance counselor hat here, right? So I was your counselor.
Yes.
I feel for the counselors right now, and I feel for the students, because this is certainly a challenging environment to do what we've always done and we've always prided ourselves on, which is that really deep one-to-one connection, especially face-to-face, right? And that right now is certainly a challenge. But there are ways around that, right? And I think that one thing that we've learned is that we've learned to adapt. We've learned to adapt quickly. We've learned that, we can persevere through challenging times and through obstacles. And honestly, college is no different than a high school environment, and colleges are looking for kids that can demonstrate maturity, responsibility, and the fact that they can persevere. So part of that is it's sacrificing, doing something that you probably want to do versus doing something that you have to do. So, we do have that time in the morning. Set that time aside, even if it's an hour a day, and you are, you're chipping away at your applications, or you're filling out your FAFSA, or you are meeting with your counselor. It's really important to stay on top of your deadlines. This is a deadline-driven process, and this is one of those times where there is no extension. You can't ask your teacher, hey, listen, can I turn this in tomorrow night? And unfortunately, this process is very deadline-driven, and it's a hard, fast stop. So, I think that as difficult as these times are, this is exactly what colleges are looking for. They're looking for kids to demonstrate that they can persevere, right? So on top of that, though, colleges communicate with the student. They don't communicate with the counselors and with schools. So checking your email regularly is the single most important thing that you can do to stay on top of, whether it's your application process, whether it's your schoolwork. I mean, as challenging as this is, it's important to finish strong. And that is a regular practice that, and I would argue that that's something that you have to take with you as a young adult. I mean, we live in the technology world. So that's one piece of advice that I would give everybody, regardless if you're college bound or not. That's something that you should be doing.
Awesome. And I think that basically
covers it.
Yeah, that answers the next question too,
Oh,
about
okay.
how important it is to
Okay.
be with your guidance counselor. All right, so thank you, Ms. Felice,
You're
for
welcome.
answering these questions
Yeah.
and updating the
Thank you.
school.
You got it.
Awesome.